Poor connectivity. How? Why? Alright, let's try it again. Hello, witches. This is Dawn from Aurora Dawn, and today I am going to talk about morals and ethics. What is right? What is wrong? What is just? What is justice? And all that good stuff. So, witches, are we moral? Do we have morals? Do we have ethics? Do we know what's right and wrong? Are we just, out there just doing our thing, whatever we want to? So I want to discuss this because I feel it's very important for us to understand, and I'm hoping to make you think. And I had a student have kind of a meltdown in class, my witchcraft class, and she dropped out because she could not handle what I'm about to share with you. So I want to preface this with saying that you do not have to agree with me. If this causes too much what is called cognitive dissonance, don't worry about it. Go back to, where you feel comfortable and move from there. Just want you to be stimulated, be inspired to think about this. Okay? So nothing I am telling you is absolute. I just have this viewpoint, this opinion, and I'm going to share it with you, and I hope that it will inspire you to think about this and see what feels right for you. There's a quote, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I can't remember exactly what it says, but it's with the Buddha was talking to his disciples, and he said, don't believe anything you hear, even if it comes from me. So the Buddha is talking to his disciples, and he's saying, don't even believe it if I say it until you first internalize it and see what your intuition says about it. And if it's something that you're supposed to embrace and make it a part of your belief system, then do it. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Really, don't worry about it. We're all growing, we're all learning. I am not an ascended master, not at that level, though I would like to be. Sometimes I would like to think that, hey, I can walk on water. And it's true, you can walk on water. But how? We don't know how, so it's not likely anybody's going to be walking on water. But anyway, that's maybe a subject for another video. Let's get going. Okay, morals. Who decides? Oh, well, let me back up. I want to start with karma. Let's talk about karma. I've mentioned in another video that my mom took me to a couple of ashrams when I was a kid. And I learned about the ego and about karma and about making your life better. In yoga, there's something called yamas and niyamas. Basically, it's kind of like the 10 Commandments, but these are guidelines. There's no, you do it this way or you're going to go to hell. There's none of that. There's no, God's going to be angry with you if you don't follow these. These are guidelines. If you want to live a happy life that's free from suffering, well, as close as you can get to be free from suffering, if you know what I mean. There's always something, right? But it's guidelines to live a happy, fulfilled life. So but they're guidelines. And so with karma is where it's a cause and effect. You do this, this is going to happen. That's simplifying it, but now that I have done a lot of shadow work, I realize that my karma is going to act differently than yours because of my subconscious beliefs. Now, I have a subconscious belief that's very toxic that tells me I have to be powerless to be safe. Because to stand in my power when I was a teenager was definitely on the road to punishment. I was not allowed to do that. So as a grown-up, I still have this fear of my own power. And so I have to deal with that. I have to be cognizant of it. I have to be aware of it. And I use my tools to work through that so that I can embrace my power and stand up for myself and not be afraid. So really karma is based on those, will work based on those subconscious toxic beliefs and that will create bad karma, what is called bad karma. But it's relative whether it's bad or not. When you think of it as, oh, I made a decision that was not in my best interest, is not for my highest good, and so now I am reaping the consequence, which to me is uncomfortable. So therefore, I'm going to call it bad karma. Okay, that's it. That's it. There are no morals. We are here to experience. So what happened with my student that she had a meltdown and quit was that she asked me, what about murder? Isn't murder wrong? Isn't it bad? Isn't it wrong? And for that, no, it's not wrong. If we are truly here to experience, then in certain situations, depending on your soul contract, if you've set it up, regardless, I mean, we're here to experience this life here on this planet, in this earth plane, in 3D, in the material world. So in that case, no, nothing is wrong. Okay, Screech, hold on. What's going on here? Okay, so I'm not advocating that you go out and do whatever the hell you want to. There are, of course, you have to remember your subconscious beliefs, because your ego works based on what's in your subconscious. Karma, all that stuff. The consequences that you experience will be based on those subconscious beliefs. So what I want to get, the point I want to get across is who decides? Because we have to live in this world, right? And if we go around just killing each other willy-nilly, I know there are a lot of people who get angry enough they could kill somebody, but they don't because they believe it's not right. And that's a good thing. We as a people, as humans, we all have come to an agreement in our society, in our government, in our religion, that it's not okay to just kill somebody. Now, we do have laws that if somebody premeditated a murder and killed somebody, that they would stand trial, and in certain states they are put to death. And so that is a societal agreement. Does that make sense? And so we've agreed as a society that we will not allow people to run around and just kill people. Now, we have exceptions to that, self-defense. Well, it's okay, you were being attacked and you did your best to defend yourself and you ended up killing that person, or maybe that was the only way to get that person to stop. Then in our society, that's considered okay. All right, so there are exceptions to the rules, but what I want to get to is who decided. We as a society, as a government, as religion also plays a big role in what is right and what is wrong. But ultimately, you, the individual, has to decide what is in your best interest, what is for your highest good. I can run around and preach the law of three. In Wiccan, they talk about what you put out there is going to come back to you 3 times. It's not literally 3 times. That's a very poetic way of explaining how when you put something out there, it's going to come back. Then we have do what thou wilt and harm none. Well, what if I need to harm somebody? What if I need to smack them upside the head to get them to stop messing with me and stop trying to harm me in my life? So do I get to do that? Who's telling me I can't? Who decides? And so that kind of spurs me on to think about who decides blonde hair and blue eyes is attractive? Who made that decision? And why are we all just agreeing with that? Who decides a certain kind of car is very attractive? A sports car. Well, I'm not into sports car. I just want a car that's going to get me where I need to go safely and back home. I don't really care too much about what it looks like. People will buy a car because of what other people think. They want to show it off. And so they buy the car because they want to show it off and get the wow, that's a great looking car. Wow, look at that, man. And that's what they're buying the car for, to get the reactions from their friends and to show it off and ooh and on. And now their friends are maybe jealous or envying, and that makes them feel more valuable. I don't, that's kind of how it works. But who decides that car is beautiful, attractive? It just looks like a certain way, and everybody calls it attractive. Everybody calls it really cool, or whatever. So who decides? So you, as a witch practicing witchcraft, you have to decide for yourself what is for your highest good. You have to go inside and recognize who you are in the shadow person, bring that into the light. So here I have a toxic belief that says I'm powerless. Well, I consciously know that me being in my power is a very, very good thing. I'm not talking about the ego temper tantrum. I'm talking about standing in my power and saying enough's enough. You need to start treating me with respect. Being matter of fact, very adult, very mature. And I don't need to scream and yell. I just need to just tell that person, you need to stop talking to me that way. It's not good. It doesn't make me feel very good. And so it comes from me. And this is what I need from you. And that's me stepping in my power. And that's very hard for me to do sometimes. I don't do the temper tantrum. I just hold it in. Okay. And then I walk away and I just absorb all of that negative energy. And a lot of it is because I, had emotional abuse as a teenager. And so it's just kind of continuating. So then I have to recognize when I'm feeling those uncomfortable emotions that it's okay for me to stand in my power and let that person know that they can't do that. Now I have to neutralize that toxic belief about being powerless. Otherwise, I'm going to create a situation where that person is going to feed back what I got when I was a teenager from my foster father actually. And I'm going to end up getting that, creating that, opening the door to that kind of a response where my standing in my power is being smacked down. So there's a lot behind this. It can be very complicated. And I'm sorry there's no clear-cut answer, but when you do your shadow work, you're going to find yourself more confident and more conscious of what belief system makes up your reality. And then you can make changes. So if you feel that somebody is causing harm or creating harm or bringing harm into your life, that you know that you can, if you need to, put a curse on them. Because you in your own mind are justified. But if you don't have your beliefs lined up behind you, you're going to create an adverse consequence. You're going to create suffering. You're going to create harm in return. And that's where the Wiccans get the, from Gardner and that whole law of three comes from, is really from your subconscious. Your belief system will create that for you, because your beliefs are there to keep you safe. And if this such and such happens, oh my gosh, now I'm not safe, and the beliefs kick in, and your ego gets you to believe certain things are happening, and that you need to respond in a certain way, and you end up in your ego, in your childlike ego defenses. So stay conscious and recognize what is for your highest good. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Because we are a society, we have to get along. Actually, it's in our best interest, right? To get along and cooperate, even though a lot of political religious nuts, I'm going to call them political religious, because it's like a religion to them. They're very emotionally attached to their political opinion, and they feel that their opinion is right and good for everybody. So we have to, and religion does the same thing. So we have to be on the alert and be able to say, no, that is not good and right for me. And be okay for other people to adhere to what is right and good for them. So if they truly believe that having sex before marriage is a bad or wrong thing to do, they need to live that way. They need to follow that principle, that they need to adhere to that. Otherwise, they will create unwanted consequences. All right? Does that make sense? Please, 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 please let me know what you think. I know this is a really big topic that confuses people, and it becomes, there's some tension there, but I want you to think about what is for your highest good and be okay with standing in that. And if it ends up disagreeing with somebody else's opinion of what is right and wrong, that you are okay with that. There's a saying, are you willing to disappoint other people in order to be true to yourself? I think I butchered it, but that's basically what it's saying. Are you willing to be true to yourself and disappoint other people in the process? I mean, really, that's kind of the bottom line. So I'm going to leave you with that, and please leave me comments. I want to know what you think. This is a tough topic, so I want to know what you think about this, how you feel about it, and thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again. Blessed be.